After 9/11, George W. Bush vowed to starve the terrorists of funding, triggering an enduring and global effort to counter terrorist financing. Yet, nearly 20 years later, that global effort has not achieved its objective, and terrorist groups have turned out to be a patchwork of operators employing varying different forms of fundraising methods. The methods used by Al-Qaeda at the time of 9/11 differ from those methods used by territory-controlling groups that we've come to know, like Islamic State and Al-Shabaab. And those methods differ again from the criminal tactics used by groups like Hezbollah and the IRA. And again, those methods differ from the actions taken by lone actors and small cells to raise money for their attacks in, for example, Western Europe, often actually just relying on legitimate sources of funding. Just as the risk landscape has evolved, so too has the funding landscape. Globalization, social media, new technologies and fintech provide ample new ways for terrorist groups to raise money, just as they provide opportunities for us as individuals to raise and move our money around the world. In our new paper, A Sharper Image Towards a Risk-Based Approach to Terrorist Financing, we examine the way in which terrorist financing has evolved over the last 20 years and try and determine just how we should approach terrorist financing in the context of today's funding methods and the threats that we face. We argue that greater emphasis should be placed on financial intelligence. For too long, policymakers have simply called for banks and other actors to cut off the financing of terrorism. We argue that this is a simplistic approach and much more should be made of the follow the money approach to learn about the financial habits of terrorists and the networks that they employ. We argue in our paper that the approach to terrorist financing is today outdated, and it is investigating this challenge and new approaches that can be taken that we hope to unpack in our new publication.